Well, yeah,
I think
bourbon's
somebody
pretty
needs to take
simple.
drugs.
You either pick up a Kentucky or a
Yeah, or a
Kentucky
Kentucky, yeah.
or a Kentucky.
Or a Texas.
Hey, guys,
It's
this is name
perfect.
pending.
This is name pending.
I'm still keeper. You can read it here.
I'm Mike. It's right there. And this is
Celt, don't
Celt.
worry about me.
He
I
shows
ain't
up every once
nobody.
in a blue moon.
Did we do an audio check first?
We're good.
We're good.
Okay.
I mean-
just wanted to.
No, I pretty much.
I didn't see any headphones on your
Well, I
head.
pretty much got the settings set in now.
We
Like,
got the cool shotgun thing up there now, right?
Well, we do, but that's for when we like walk around.
No, I'm not going to walk. I'm just going to pee myself.
Upgrading week after week.
I'm waiting.
Hey, bro. They've come out with a diaper now, like a front end diaper with a cup on it that ties to the bag now.
By the way, it doesn't work that well. The
It
best
doesn't?
thing
Have
that
you
works for
tried it?
you is a condom Cath
Yeah.
that goes down to the back.
Okay.
That's the best thing if you actually have to use it. Personal experience, just saying.
Does it stay on whether it's
The
big or small?
proper condom Cath does.
So
The giant cup that you put
yeah.
your member through,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a, I don't know, a fleshlight, doesn't work as well.
Hey, do me a favor and check
A
that middle
flashlight
camera
dome.
on your phone.
I mean,
Yeah, so
it's a good idea. It's a good thought.
I'm experimenting with blah, blah, blah. I ain't
You're
remember-
doing a what now?
Experimenting, spitting,
It's not on.
because I don't swallow.
We don't have a camera on. Dang. Well,
There
look, you get to live with
goes
us twice. We got 2 cameras on.
Center camera.
Yep. Camera 2 is not online. I'm not seeing it. It's recording now? Okay, well.
Flip the screen. No.
No.
I can't.
Can you turn it a little bit more?
Oh,
Oh.
I see.
Mm.
So in the future,
Is there any way to
can we-
unplug it?
Yeah, let's
unplug the
unplug the
mic,
mic, and then
turn
flip
the-
it.
I know it's totally going to fuck up everything. Mike's not going to talk for a
Nah.
second. While we
It's not gonna fuck anything up. It's
turn
only-
this and then plug it back in if there's room.
There you go.
And now Mike's off camera. Mike, talk again?
I don't know.
It'll still pick it up.
You
It's
have a loud voice,
omnidirectional
bro.
right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a wide angle.
Loud noises.
Loud noises.
Skunks.
Meow.
Jax.
So we're in the garage because it was supposed to rain.
But it's not gonna rain.
Now it's not gonna rain.
Same with last time we were here. It was supposed to rain and it didn't rain.
There's been
So-
something weird going on with our weather here in Texas.
You mean like always?
But it rained on the way over. It sprinkled. We got
I didn't see any sprinkles.
you were in your phone, bro.
I was
Dude,
trying to look up.
Dude,
I was looking
supposed
up
to
that senator that got indicted today.
I left work early to get here because there was supposed to be hail. and it
You
was like-
messaged me early, and I was like,
everyone freaked out at work because they're like, "There's got to be hail. You need to get home." And I was like, "There is supposed to be hail. I do
And a
need to get home."
tornado. Yeah, there was a tornado warning on it too.
I mean, was it last week you messaged me? It was like, hey, and it stormed. Like, no joke, you warned me about tornado. I took video of everything in my house because
Yeah.
you did them photos across the board.
Which, by the way, if y'all do not have photos or videos of your household goods, just do that because that's going to save you so much hassle when it comes to insurance.
Open your drawers, open your closets, open your safes.
You will be amazed that when you really like, and I was talking to my dad about this past week, but like when you walk through your house and you really walk through and you go like, I spent this much on this. I spent this much on this. I spent this much on this. You're like, suddenly I've got a lot of money into this household.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it definitely changes your perspective on what you have.
Yeah.
And I was like, because we were talking about it, and we get off the phone, and I'm recording around the house. I was like, wow, I got a new Steam Deck. I got a new Steam Deck. I got this. I was like, wow, the last time because I take a lot of photos already
Yeah.
where you can see stuff in the background, but I haven't taken another one in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I took another video after you're like, oh, tornadoes are coming or potentially coming. And we have all this. And it was like, okay, so go through the house, shoot the video, sit back down, and we're just enjoying everything. And no joke, just like that, just a snap, torrential downpour,
Yeah.
like instantly. And then 11 and a half minutes later, gone. It disappeared.
Nothing.
And everybody's out in the neighborhood walking around. It was like, It
Okay.
it just flooded instantly, and then it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay. But it was nice. It cooled down everything. Oh, you can't see the fire out back anymore.
You want me to go put
No,
some
it's
wood in
fine.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
We'll start book talk without you.
Good, because I don't read. You know I don't read. I stay ignorant.
How's that swing arm though? We got
Oh, I
swing
love my
arms.
new.
It's so
Swing
nice to
arm.
have nothing but these now.
And you know what? It doesn't squeak. It doesn't fall in my lap and hit my ball.
Yeah, the only thing you gotta
Like-
fall, and we probably gotta get new knobbies here,
Well, or we replace the entire thing.
or replace it. I mean, realistically, that's probably what we're gonna
You know
do.
what? There's actually one that's like a
It encompasses the whole mic. Yeah.
and it's got like the little zigzag wire that goes back and forth, so the mic never
Shifts or bumps
gets
or
hit.
yeah.
I just like how smooth it is. I can go like this, and I'm sure my
I'll
audio
be
profile is
back.
changing, and Mike's gonna hate me. But I like how smooth.
I do because those are directional. What? Why did you
Why'd you touch the flag?
Why did you touch the flag?
Look, we're on one. It took like 2 hours to set up today.
See that?
Tall.
That's how you get tall.
That's how you get tall. That's them California genetics right there.
Oh man. Don't fucking put that evil on me.
On him. He's from California. Genetics that way.
I was born in California.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I was
that.
born in Ventura, California, and I was dumped in Fort Bliss, El Paso.
Well, you know what? Being dumped in El Paso makes you Texan.
Yeah, no.
Out of everything, dumped in El Paso, he's a fucking Texan. Like, hands down, Texan. Like, they could have dumped you in Lubbock or something. More fucking oil central.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. And then I would have just been in love
I'm
with
surprised
King
you-
Ranches for no reason.
I'm surprised you didn't get fucking carted off to Mexico.
Probably should have. I should probably be working in a fucking factory somewhere.
I mean, you'd be the one changing the lights. You don't even need a stepladder. But book talk. I mean, let's get this out of the way.
Book talk.
Like book talk was hard for me this week, just because I started a couple books, started devotionals, and I just couldn't really push through anything good fiction wise. Like,
Well, I need you to fucking reach out to me, bro, because I've got a backlog of stuff that I want you to check out.
I got a backlog on my Audible,
I've got stuff,
but
bro.
I need the next fix, bro.
I've got
fix.
stuff. Listen,
You sent me the one. I'm
I
gonna
sent you-
touch
I sent
that
it to
one.
you.
Once I get another 2 or 3 credits.
I've already cycled through that one like fucking 7 times now. All right,
It's the bee's knees. I'm gonna touch it.
I love it.
I'm gonna touch it.
All right, because
Book
okay, so we're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it
talk about
because
it because I sent it to you
in like 2 or 3
and we're
days.
fucking
I'm
talk-
gonna
and we're-
touch on it.
and you're going to, and I'm going to try and get you to touch on it. I'm going to actually pull up the text message I sent you so that I can get to the link so that I can read exactly the.
Oh dear God, me and Mike text a lot of bullshit.
Oh
to each
yeah,
other.
no, I just pulled up a Reddit post.
Reddit post. What he bought. Another Reddit post. Celt needs to bring more energy because he's lazy.
Lever nuts.
Amazon. Is that Amazon? That was Amazon. Block files.
Block file. Yeah, I was like,
I sent him on Heroes to Hives because you're
Yep,
doing
yep,
bees now. We
yep.
should talk about your bees.
We can talk about my bees. Okay.
Shadow and Sea.
Of
The Elder Empire.
yeah, the Elder
Shadow
Empire.
Book 1, and it's best-selling author of the Cradle series.
Will White.
I almost said real right.
Will White.
White. Ooh, tongue twister.
We've talked about Will White before.
We have, and
Um,
I think we've touched on this book series, but that's gonna be the next one I touch on.
So
But I don't think we fully touched on this
we've
series.
not fully touched on it, and because like I had a rough week for book reading, like I was.
It was like maybe a 10-second touch on because there was another book you were reading that was prevalent for
Yeah.
that week.
but like I had a rough week because I didn't have anything really good to read. But so with the
Will Wright.
Will White, I
have the link.
of
It's all
Shadow
good.
and Sea, the Elder Empire, unique function of this book series. It's a 3-book series, all encapsulated, all by itself. However, he did another 3-book series from the perspective of a completely different character
Of the same series.
everything
Same
is happening
universe.
at the exact same time.
Bro, let's go. Oh,
So
look.
so like you read one book and you get everything from this character's perspective, and then you read the other book and you get everything from this character's perspective. And it's very fascinating, but this one in particular is about a girl who her in her when she was a little girl, she was picked up by a dude and she was essentially being trained to be an assassin,
Yep.
right? And she was taught to like, convince these, bait these guys into an alley, and she stabbed them to death and stuff like this. And then as she's doing that, the proper assassins guild gets hired, called the consultants, gets hired to go by rich family members to go take care of this guy and get their children back. Well, she doesn't have a family. So they're like, "Well, you killed the guy we were after, and you seem just like not affected by this at all. You just wanted to take a nap. So yeah, we're gonna bring you in." And it's kind of, and we do time skips, like it goes back in time to like her being trained and like stuff like that, and then we go into the modern times where there's a bunch of shit that's gone down, and she's dealing with potential disasters for the Consultants Guild going forward, and she's a badass. Like she's an absolute terrifying badass.
Sounds like that's gonna be the next book
It
series that I just freaking
it's
destroy.
awesome. Like I love the series so much.
I'm excited. I really am. That's gonna be the next one I touch because I still have. I'm gonna pull it up because just the ones I've downloaded because they're good, but I'm tired of listening to the same thing right now. So just the ones downloaded. So I have 1 year chronological Bible in a year. A Frost of Fear and Fortitude. That's for when I'm out back watching my kid. It's pretty much this book series. So A Frost of Fear and Fortitude by AP Beswick. All of his books are like maybe 3 hour, 4 hour listens. It's pretty much Robin Hood and stuff like that. Someone didn't like this
Oh,
author didn't like the way Robin Hood was portrayed in current movies, and he was like, "Oh well, I would totally do it different." And his wife was like, "Then do it."
then do it.
And he made 3 books,
Right.
and they're really good. It's A Frost of Fear and Fortitude by AP Beswick. Really good. 4 hours. Reading at 2 times speed, it's like 2.5 hours listening to, maybe. Then I'm on Galaxy's Edge, Part 4. I have 12 hours on that one left. But that one has hit a point, it's hit a crescendo where I'm just like,
There's the arc you're in right now. You just need to
I
get
just
through
need a
that.
break because I have 12 hours left of Part 4. Great book series, but I'm pausing on that one. And then the other one I'm listening to is The 5 Love Languages of Children by Gary Chapman and Ross Campbell. Because I have a kid, I'm trying to understand how my kid's communicating to me so I don't become a shithead parent.
There's something I did want to that's very important for that book series I wanted to bring up is the world that they're based in.
Which one?
The of what is it? Of Shadow and Sea?
Okay.
Yeah, of Shadow and Sea. That world that they're based in has a lot of like eldritch monsters.
Okay.
Like you're thinking of like that H.P. Lovecraft, like you describe horror and the creatures in this world that they're fighting against, and that they're sometimes they're taming these creatures, sometimes they're fighting against these creatures, sometimes they're using them to gain power and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But because of these creatures, it adds this whole new dynamic, and I love the concept of dealing with monsters that are so like
Out of this
alien,
world.
and so they're so wildly alien that the human mind can literally not comprehend them. But this is a world where the human mind can't comprehend them, but humans have been fighting them for thousands of years and succeeding.
So we can comprehend them, just not comprehend the.
Some people can comprehend them if they're careful,
Okay.
but you can lose your mind And there's like powers and abilities related to integrating with these creatures and stuff like this.
Interesting. Okay. I'm excited to jump into that series.
I want you to get into that series.
I really am.
Because I don't know if any of our viewers have noticed, but I get like really super excited whenever my friends is like, so I was reading this.
No,
And this is
there's
happening.
been a couple comments who's like, "Oh, I read the whole series." Another one was like, "Oh, they also made this series," and
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, they're into it, just maybe not to the level that you're into it.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
This is like your crack.
Yeah, I would literally give
This
up
is your thing.
every form of entertainment for reading.
I
I
wouldn't.
I have to very intentionally stop myself from reading at night so that I can get to bed at a decent time. When I was younger, I wasn't able to do that.
I have to stop myself from gaming at a certain time, or else I will just play and play and play. Because I'm a completionist. I will play till the game is 100%. I think I have maybe like 19 unlocks left
Yeah,
of
let's talk
Vampire
about Vampire
Survivors.
Survivor real quick.
Woo!
I introduced you, what was it, like 2 weeks ago?
Do you want me to look up my Steam and tell you how long ago you?
I introduced this man to this game like 2 weeks ago. I've been playing this game for like a year now. And
Yeah,
and
gaming.
you could know something about
You
it.
could. We've tried.
And
Does it show me? So, I've had it for 2 weeks. 64.1 hours in the last 2 weeks. And I have, does it show me how many achievements I have left? Like, I'm so bad of a completionist that I'll play the game till it's completely done, achievement wise. Like, it's insane. Because you came over, you're like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have that. I don't have that. And I'm just gold running at this point. So I have gold to spend on, like, all my power ups are maxed.
yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah, no, you would be very disappointed to play on mine because I don't. I don't even have some of the weapons or some of the characters.
I don't have all the weapons. I don't have all the characters, but I'm working towards that. Like, to the point Jess was like, oh, we got to do this again. And I was like, say something. If you don't want to play, because we would seriously play. And her big thing is she doesn't like playing endless anymore,
Yeah.
which I understand. Endless is more or less, we're doing stuff around the house for about 5-10 minutes. I'm building my build. And then it's just going to sit there for 4 to 6 hours, killing everything, collecting gold.
Yeah.
She likes the 30-minute windows of kill everything, do everything we need to do, and then Grim Reaper's coming in and doing it.
Yeah, no, I'm with her on that. That's why I more prefer. A matter of fact, I don't think I played a single game of Endless.
I enjoy Endless only because before the gold runs, it was more intentional just to, I don't have to worry about the Grim Reaper anymore. I can just see how far I can go.
Yeah.
Now, Endless is just, I'm building a build for gold farming so I can unlock more stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. Like before you came over earlier this week, I think I spent like 10 million gold on upgrading a character so I can gold mine more. That's it. So that way I can unlock more characters when I unlock them because they cost gold.
Are these games? Because there's 3 games that y'all play, right? There's the vampire one, this endless one, and then there's another
Well, Endless
one.
is on Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, it's just a mode in Vampire Survivor.
Okay.
We play a lot of games.
Yes. When
This game specifically got me more towards couch games because Mike comes over, I don't know, minimum once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and on the bad weeks, it's pretty much
It's
you
been
spend
like
the whole fucking week
like
there.
the entire week. I'm like, hey, can I come? Like, there's been weeks where it's like 5 days out of that week, I'm over at his house.
Like this past week, I think I spent about $50 just on couch games. Couch games are local co-op. You can play externally, but I wanted more couch games. So when people come over and they just want to hang, they don't really want to talk, don't want to do anything. We're gonna do that. We're just gonna come over, hang out, play a bullshit game that realistically has no value.
like playing Super Mario Brothers or like
It's pretty much like playing
Super
Gauntlet
Mario
Legends
Kart,
or
Zelda,
Mario
yeah.
Party or yeah.
or like Sonic, because you just have levels that you go through, and then when you
if
defeat the
you-
game, you defeat the game.
if you die, oh well.
You redo the level.
Yeah.
And yeah, then you just start at the next point. So that's
I
where
mean, I like those because they're fun, they're entertaining, but and it's just like
I
a
like
good way
that
to kill
couch
time.
co-op is making a comeback
Screen
because
Cheat came out like 4 or 5 years ago. That was fucking chaos. Me and Mike are playing. So Screen Cheat, playing up multiplayer games. You have
did you play 007 back in the day, GoldenEye or Perfect Dark?
Did you ever-
or,
I did see it come out, but I never played
Did you
it.
play Halo ever?
I did play Halo and Modern Warfare.
Okay, so either one, and you ever play with like split screen or 4 players?
Yeah,
Okay. Realistically, how often
I
did you
hated
look at
that.
the screen? Their screen.
Oh, all the time.
yeah, you screen peek, right?
This
Yeah.
whole game, your
Like so
charac-
much so that I would get killed because I was looking at their screen.
Your character's invisible to everyone, including yourself.
What?
You
Okay.
can't see another character.
You can't see anyone.
The game's called Screen Peek, and you only know where they're at by their screen. So you're mixing between your screen where you're at, their screen where they're at, their screen where they're at, and you're all fighting each other. And the only way you know where they're
What
at
the-
is like the gun smoke or the weapon smoke. That's it. Like the whole game is premised on screen
So
peeking.
everybody's invisible.
Yeah, and the only way you can kill someone is by looking at their screen to see where they're at on the map, and then trying to kill them based off of
Dude,
that.
that's gonna be so hard to play.
Oh, it was
It
so
was,
fun.
because
like
it's
the
like
first
I could be
one-
right here looking right at you.
We
did
walked
and
by
shoot
each other
you.
so many
The
times.
first game, I destroyed him. The second game, I
You
think
did not destroy me on that first game.
because you killed yourself twice, point wise. Point wise, it was 5-1
Hey, so I
because
saw.
it's 5 kills.
Speaking of that, I saw this
Because it was
hilarious meme.
4-3, and then it was 5-1, and then the second
What-
game you destroyed.
How to destroy Taco Bell.
Okay, explain. Let's go.
Let's go.
So it's Call of Duty, and you go up behind somebody who's squatting, and you put an IED up their butt.
Is this
and
like-
it goes boom?
Is this about the new remastered Call of Duty or reworked or? I haven't played it. How is it?
I haven't played it yet. I just
Oh.
saw the video on Instagram yesterday, and I was like, "That's hilarious!" Like, I love that. Like, that would be me. I'd be walking. I wouldn't shoot anybody in the game. I would just go and I would be like, "Here's a bomb in your butt."
I mean, for a while, me and my buddies would seriously have about 16 people from work,
Yeah.
up to 24, and we would just play a game. Be like, oh, knives only. We would build rules
Right.
in the lobby. It was like, oh, it's knives only or melee only.
Yeah.
People would have bats. People would have knives. It would just be melee. Or we'd jump on a modded server where we would all be invisible.
Right.
So everyone's invisible, but you can see the weapons they're carrying. So you're looking for like this finite ninja star that's so small,
Yeah.
or someone running around with a bat, and we would do that. So I mean, co-op is making a comeback across gaming.
That's really like that's what those are okay. So the couch games, the old console
Yeah,
games.
couch is
Yeah.
just local co-op.
Those are the ones that I really enjoy playing because I can
Worms.
come and go. I don't have to have
Worms.
somebody.
Worms, Team 17, Worms.
Man, I've got fond memories of playing
Gauntlet
Worms.
Legends, Midway
Yeah,
Studios.
I don't have to have somebody
Bomberman.
there to
Bomberman.
back in the day. I loved playing Bomberman with my parents.
I've been looking for a
You're
good Gauntlet
mentioning,
Legends
like,
games. So
freak to me.
you never played Gauntlet Legends? It
You
you never
started
played
on
Bomberman?
arcade.
No, those I've never heard of those games.
So
actually,
Gauntlet Legends started on arcade, like actual arcade. game.
really,
Started with Midway. Midway pushed that out with hundreds
because I
of
used
other.
to play arcades all the time at Dominions, bro.
And there was 4 little analog sticks and buttons.
Yep.
It was 2 buttons, and it was just an analog. You move, and it's either your special, your heal, or your attack. Your special attack.
Okay,
So you had your special, your other
Yeah,
attack.
And you would just go through
it's like
massacring.
playing Mortal Kombat on arcade.
It's in a way, it's Mortal Kombat top down.
but
Each
but
person.
you would massacre like mobs. Like
Yeah.
there would just be a ton of monsters out there, and y'all
Dude.
would go through and you'd find
Yeah.
food, and
Mhm.
you'd listen to the wizard needs food badly like
Right.
6,000 times.
The wizard needs food. The sorcerer needs food.
badly.
Sorcerer picked up gold pile. Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
greedy bastard!
Yeah.
You
It-
D&D loving game playing.
This wasn't even D&D though.
No, but this is general arcade.
Really?
Midway
Yeah.
Studios pushed this
Like,
out.
when did this come out? Like, in the 90s
In the
or
90s.
Really?
Yeah, in the 90s. And I know this because my dad was a GM at a family fun center, which included arcades, bumper boats,
I'm gonna say
go-karts,
98. The first Gauntlet
Putt-putt.
Oh, that's when
Legends.
I graduated.
So
Jeez,
it was
that's
a
I'm
release
old.
arcade game in 98,
Yeah, you are.
but it was a sequel from 85's popular Gauntlet, which was released in
I
86.
did play Gauntlet.
That's Gauntlet Legends. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
it was the top down, you have to go through this maze type thing.
Yes, I gotcha.
I love that game. That's one of my top favorite games, to the point I have the OG game and I have the OG PlayStation, so we could play it. But I want it on a different system that can do HDMI because no
Yeah.
TV has.
You know, they have
Yes, and the emulator actually does Gauntlet.
But we need to do an intermission.
Intermission.
Mine's pretty good.
I've been on this high protein diet.
Mine's pretty good because I
It is
reach in
making
there
me
whenever I'm
gassy.
wiping my ass and I feel the dingleberries. I reach in there, I grab it, I just rip it out.
Pretty sure I have
Ouch.
hemorrhoids. I feel like booty bumps on my butt.
You know, 99% of people, 99.9% of people in America, in the world have hemorrhoids.
I don't know if it's like
If they don't
actual
bother
hemorrhoids
you,
or
it's not an issue.
It doesn't bother me. Meow.
Meow.
But it's
Meow.
like a little bump when I wipe my booty hole.
So I don't think the audience
Yeah,
can
that's
hear it, but we're yelling at my old man cat, 19 years old.
Meow.
He's an owly meower. He goes,
But, you know,
He's got the
"Meow."
ugliest meow I've ever heard in my life.
It's like an
That's
old
not-
man getting raped.
That's not true because my cousin, he had a cat who had gotten his throat torn out, and its meow, yeah, it was just, and you're just like,
Or
oh.
when someone cuts the dog's vocal cord.
I've never heard that, I don't think.
Hound dogs do that sometimes.
Well, no, they're genetically made to sound a deeper bark.
Yeah.
But the ones that cut the dog's vocal cords because they don't want the dog to bark.
Oh, they literally do it.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
natural procedure you do.
Oh.
Same with declawing cats.
I would not.
Both, in my opinion, inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But the way they sound, it's pretty much they're trying to bark, but it's just all gargle.
I did have to explain to someone the necessity sometimes for certain breeds of dogs of removing the tail, and for some breeds of dogs for removing the dew claws.
I mean, that's kind of like, okay, yes, they do that to poodles, right? They remove that claw for poodles for show, but it actually hinders the growth and the something about the balance of the way that, I mean, it causes the poodle to walk the way they do
Yeah.
in that queer way.
But
I mean,
but for some
It's the
breeds,
pedigree walk, yeah.
for
Yeah.
some breeds, removing the dew claw is very necessary because that dew claw can get caught in shit for the breed
Absolutely.
and be torn off.
yeah.
Like
Well, I mean,
basset hounds.
hunting dogs too, right?
Yeah.
My biggest issue is we should start docking German Shepherd's tails because they have hip issues. And
What?
they
Yes.
No. Instead, how about we do this?
stop
about we-
inbreeding.
How about we fix the breed so that they don't have that slope, which they are actually doing.
Yep.
There are breeders in the United States
Intentionally.
who are all trying to fix the breeds that have been ruined by the what the professional
AKC.
the AKC.
AKC. I mean, I can't really say much. I have an AKC dog here.
Yeah,
Mini
that's 'cause
Australian
you're
Shepherd.
fucked up.
I'm fucked up. But they docked his tail properly. He's actually, the breeder he came from is actually trying to fix the mini Australian breed. Mini Australian breed isn't a normal breed, but it's already being pushed out there. So he's trying to
But
fix
did
the
the breeder
issue.
did the breeder require you to have the dog fixed so that you can breed anymore?
So I can breed him. I'm
Okay.
going to fix him so he can be just a dog.
Right.
And I don't want to carry on his name of crap.
Right.
I just want him to be a dog. I don't
Yeah.
want to put more stuff on him. To me, he is going to be my everywhere dog, which we didn't bring up, but we have a furry co-host.
Oh, we do have a furry co-host. Cabo and Pearl
Cabo
are
and
out
Pearl.
behind me somewhere.
And then we got Bo.
We got Bo.
He's attached to a leash right now
I'm
because
not allowed to
Where's
bring mine.
October?
she's right here next to me.
Man, she has been chill as fuck.
Oh yeah, other than the one little growl at Pearl because Pearl was getting too close to her face and she was just like,
Oh,
"Leave me
so it's
alone
Pearl's fault. It's Pearl's fault, huh? You gotta put the blame on Pearl?
if you let me finish." Pearl got too close to her face and Toby isn't fully socialized. All my fault. I should have socialized her a lot earlier. She's 5 years old.
Is
Damn,
she 5
really?
years old?
She's 5.
No way.
Damn, no way.
No.
No.
2019.
No, she's like
No.
4 years old, bro.
Mid-COVID, 2019.
COVID didn't start until 2020.
No, he's right.
No,
Mid
because I got sick in 19 and they didn't know
I
what the
don't
hell
care
it
when you
was.
got sick.
2020, March of 2020 is when they
When they
locked
publicized it. I'm saying
everything down.
he's submitting. He's like, "Hey, you bigger, you win."
Hey, by the way, Relic is the reason why you have Toby.
And I talked to Relic a lot.
And
Relic
that
actually made
happened-
these. Relic made the nameplates,
And that
I,
happened after the announcement of COVID. Because you were
okay,
still in the
4
two
years,
story.
whatever.
You were still in the
4
two
years.
story.
She's no longer a puppy. She's at her adult stage
So what we're saying is that keeper don't know how to raise dogs.
or count.
You need to beat them more. Beat them more.
I beat a dog all day.
All day.
You know what I was thinking about? I had a dream the other day. It was like,
About me
It's
beating
good.
a dog?
Did you remember it?
I did remember it. We're all old as fuck. And I've seen it 2 different ways. It was like, you died before me, or I died before you. But when I
would die
died
before
before
both of
you,
you.
you're like, yeah, I was going to outlive you anyway, motherfucker. And then the other part was, I know this is all in my head in the dream. It was all my fiction in my brain. But you died before me, and I was like, I always knew I'd outlive that motherfucker because he's army. And I ain't beat a dog all day. And what's the other saying?
Bingo.
No.
What's the other saying?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't be a bitch, be a bro.
Oh, yeah.
And you died before me.
Yeah.
It's like, no joke. If you die before me, I'm saying, don't be a bitch, be a bro. Come back to life in Jesus' name. And boom, you just hop out of your casket or from your ashes to people.
And then the rapture happened.
And then the rapture happens. It was like, oh, wow, we died anyway.
I mean,
But then you died together.
the rapture isn't death, is it?
No, it's rebirth.
It's rebirth, right?
It's the death of
The
Flesh.
world.
your
It's a
flesh.
death of flesh.
Yeah.
It's a flesh death.
So,
Hey, October.
I mean, well, we'll talk about that off camera.
No,
Hey,
shoot,
October.
let's go.
So then let's ask the question that's been brought to hand here. Then when you die,
And she's lost weight.
right? So
Why are you growling?
when you die, Toby. When you die, Toby.
You'll be buried in the backyard
Yeah,
next to Starbuck and grandfather tree.
Toby.
Beat her. I'm serious. If she's gonna
That's
growl,
enough.
I don't need you to growl on top of me. That's for sure.
we need to socialize you more.
Okay, so
When you die,
resurrect the sound of the trumpets and the second coming of Christ. We all basically drop our clothes and ascend to heaven, right? Those who truly believe.
so we're all
That's-
naked in heaven.
It's technically, yeah. But there's no sex or
Well, but that goes back to because we come pure again
right.
before Eve grabbed the apple and shared it with Adam.
And there's no male or female in heaven.
Well, there will be no male and female because sex won't be a
You're
part
not
that we'll care
reproducing-
about.
You're not reproducing in heaven. But
So
what I'm trying to get at is, we said, what is this? The rapture. The rapture is a death of flesh, right? So the flesh just vanishes. Before rapture occurs, because rapture hasn't occurred yet, because we're still here, right? Technically, I mean, rapture could have occurred, and we're just like the
So
ones that
no.
missed
at
out.
this point, you're
No.
talking about pre-trib or post-trib. This is very, very philosophical discussion.
Right, absolutely. This is, just hypothetical. So let's say it's pre-rapture. You die. I died. My brother died in January, right? Would that be his rapture?
Well, at this point,
Because his flesh died, but his
but
spirit
going
lived
down
on.
the same rabbit hole, is he not already in purgatory?
I mean, are
Or
we
is
not in
purgatory
purgatory
only
now?
Old Testament?
No, I believe that there is a purgatory until the rapture.
See, but this is all philosophy that we're building
Right.
off of
Well, off of
many
theology.
different doctrines.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is it's hard to build a doctrine
Well,
off biblical if you're going to pick and choose what you want.
and
You either go
Well,
ahead.
what does the scripture say
well,
about it
for
then?
for me, guys, for me, I am not going to dwell on prophecy.
And you shouldn't. Biblically,
Right,
you
right. Like
shouldn't.
I'm not going to sit there and dwell on prophecy, and I'm not going to sit there and let it affect me, and I'm not going to sit there and spend a lot of time on it. Because especially I feel like you know, old people especially, they sit there and they're constantly sitting there going, "Man, the rapture is going to happen."
Well, we've been hearing this for 100+ years.
Well, that's the thing is like
It's
every
like,
We've been
time,
oh, it's
hearing
the end
about-
of times.
yeah,
We've been
everyone's
hearing about the second coming of Christ since Christ died.
every
Can you unclog him? He's
What?
stuck on the table. Fucking pedigree dog with feelings.
Running away from his angry master.
I'm not that angry. I actually show him a lot more love. Ooh, you're a lap dog now. Get wrecked, nerd.
no choice in the matter.
But no, we've definitely, I agree with you. We've pushed a lot more towards doctrine or ideologies and philosophy, and we've been hearing since, and I quote, I think it was like 1912. It was like, oh, it's the end of the world. Oh, we're gonna deal with this, and then Hitler came. Oh, it's the end of the world. Vietnam came. Oh, it's the
Every
end of the
time we turn
world.
around, they're like, "This person's the Antichrist.
70s
This person's
came.
the Antichrist."
Right.
All these different things came, and we have all these different movements, and it's like, oh, Jesus is alive again. It's like, awesome. It's like, oh, but it's the end of the world because this is we've had an end of the world
Every
forever.
year.
The apostles in the Bible were like, oh, so he's going to be coming back soon. 2,000 years we've been experiencing
How
through
about
social media, one way social end of the world. Hold on. How come, and this is my biggest issue, and I have a huge fucking soapbox about this. How come for 2,000 years we've been experiencing the end of the world? 2,000 years.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you because at some point, can we just accept the fact that we will not know when it's going to happen?
Because that
It
right there is
explicitly
scripture.
states.
It
Absolutely.
does.
States explicitly.
No man knows the time or day.
So if you are sitting there going, "Well, I see the signs," then guess what? You don't see the signs.
And we can jump off the doctrine of a certain number of people will know the signs. Because you know what? That would make sense. A certain number of people. But they're also, even if they put it on broadcast, it's not going to matter. Because not everyone's going to know. It's going to be irrelevant. The only way you're going to know is faith.
Yep.
So if you believe in Christianity, there's this. If you believe in any other religion, you have your own doctrines and your own understandings. That's like,
absolutely.
and I
why
fully-
don't? Oh,
just leave it alone. Just fucking leave it alone and stop preaching to me about how you see all the signs
Yep.
and how it's about to come. And I keep having to keep my fucking mouth shut very, very often.
So we didn't
Because
answer my question,
people who
though.
are important to me.
we'll touch it. We will. I don't think we should ever try to micromanage religion.
Yeah.
The biggest,
The government does a good enough job of that anyway.
not even.
No.
Like of
Your-
micromanaging.
Your pulpits and publishing houses are the biggest thing that micromanage everything. Oh, you're this. Well, you can't do this because this.
I
Period.
agree.
Dot. The end.
I agree with that too. I mean, it's the government micromanages the church to a degree,
The big
but
church, not individual
right.
churches. Yes.
but it's typically
Because we've touched on this on podcast.
That's we can get into opinions of who who's micromanaging and who's not micromanaging inside of a church. And it depends on the actual church and the teaching and or the false teaching of
See, but
what's
this
going
is
on in
this
that
is where
church.
I'm also a big fan, cutting Mike off, of taxing the fucking church.
Yes. You know what? How about we do actual separation of church and state? Fucking tax the church. Here's
How
the
is that
benefits.
separation?
Here's the benefits to taxing the church.
Because you do what you want socially, but you still live in the United States.
If we tax the church, you know what goes away? The fake churches.
Yep.
Because
Hands down.
the fake churches, the mega churches,
They can't afford the
Yep.
tax.
they can't afford the taxes. Because the only reason that they're getting away with it and the only reason that they're doing it isn't because they have faith. And I hate them taking advantage of people who legitimately have faith.
Yep.
But the only reason that they're getting away with it is because they don't get taxed, and so they can pocket all this money. And they can pocket all this money. And they can pocket all
use
this
their
money.
tax exempt forms to buy all kinds of illegitimate stuff that's not really
Correct.
needed
Yep.
by the church.
Like
cars.
everybody likes to bring up any of these mega churches. Oh, they have private planes. They have
Yep.
houses that are, well, it's technically owned by the church. They don't have to pay tax on it. It's like, can we just get away from avoiding all this? If we're really
can
trying
you
to push
imagine-
churches to the way we did the Tax Stamp Act,
Can you imagine not having to pay $800,000 on a $10 million jet? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
10 million. You're talking about brand new $40 million jet.
yeah, but
A
what I'm saying is
G6, I think, was like 20 to 40 used.
It's $800,000 per 10 million.
Exactly. It's
So-
insane.
Like, that's the amount of sales tax you get to save. So if it's for every 20, when you spend $20 million, you're saving 16 or 1.6 million.
Exactly. And that's my soapbox and Mike's soapbox on a piece. But let's go back to what your question was.
I mean, is it my soapbox? You cut me off.
It was a point. Yes.
I mean, at
you
least he
definitely are
admitted
on the
it.
same fucking standpoint on that one. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh,
You're-
wait.
At least he admitted it. He was like, and I am cutting you off.
Boom!
I know, because this is. Oh my gosh. I will bitch
I am turning your
and
mic
moan
off.
about it because it drives me crazy. But you were asking a question philosophically. Go ahead.
So, again, rapture is where the mass of believers, right?
A
Clothes hit the
majority
floor,
leave, yes.
boom, go, right? True believers. But wouldn't you call natural human death a rapture?
No.
Why not? Your spirit's still raptured.
I call that going home. I call that leaving this existence. This is the closest to hell we will ever get in my belief.
Christians will, yes.
Yeah, and that, like I said,
Or
in my
believers
belief.
will. Oh my God, you brought out pretzels. Oh.
But I wouldn't call my death a rapture. I would call a rapture a multitude of people, a majority, a mass populace being raptured a thing versus my death being a rapture.
I would love to hear an artist out there do a rapture. There's your beat.
Oh my goodness. No, but I wouldn't classify my death as a rapture.
Right.
I would say that he's going home. Because in every funeral I've ever done, every funeral I've been around or with, it's never
Love you.
been, oh, he's been raptured. It's no, he's going home and he's at peace. Or that's just where it's gone. It's never been that way.
So let's go a step further.
I'm all ears. Let's go. You're bringing stuff to the table. I'm enjoying this.
How many funerals would you go to knowing the person did not accept Christ in their life and be willing to go, yeah, sorry guys,
I'm the
Your
wrong
loved
person
one-
to ask.
your
Because
loved one went to hell.
I will go to every single one of them. Because if I can be the one person to, in my belief, bring them to Christ, why would I not?
And it's not a funeral, realistically, is not for the person who died.
Yep.
A funeral is
It's
for the
for the living.
people who are left.
Yep.
So
Because the soul no longer resides in that body.
I want to see pastors actually have a set. The guys that are officiating funerals actually have a set to really say the truth. Instead of covering it up and say, well, God bless his soul, he's resting in a better place, or she's resting in a better place. We
Oh,
all
don't get me
know, blah,
wrong.
blah,
I
blah.
will still say God bless their soul, but that's where I stop. Because if I know they weren't a Christian, if I know they weren't this, and because
Lay
I'm a
down.
Christian minister, because I'm this is what I believe, so I'll only really be pointed towards those types of funerals. I'm not gonna go
No.
do a Sikh funeral or a Muslim funeral. It's just it's
Right.
not in my cards. It's not in so I'm not gonna go to a Muslim funeral and be like, oh, he's in a better place. I don't know because I don't know his faith verbatim. I know a lot about the Quran, but I don't know about it in depth. So I would be bringing no value to his funeral. There's a separation there.
Wow, dog. Why you
That's
do
your
that, dog?
dog.
I know. Well, both my dogs are here.
Yeah, that was your dog.
No,
No,
we're
it was literally a spirit. You'll see it on the camera.
No, it was she walked through the front of the table.
probably. Can we move Mike back for that half of the table, since you both Mike?
Hey, so, okay. So
But continuing, I'm all ears.
I want to see people grow a set and actually say in a funeral, yeah, I'm sorry. Your loved one went to hell.
No,
But
No,
that's
no,
not
why?
the end of it.
Why
because
do that?
again, a funeral is not for the person who died; it's for the people who are there. Do you think saying your loved one who just died is in hell is going to bring people to Christ?
This is where
So why would you tell
Specifically
people
tell
that
me
they're in
that.
a better place?
Tell me that.
This is where extending the truth is the best possible outcome. Is like for someone that committed suicide, your loved one is no longer experiencing pain. And the only reason I can say that is because there was a time I thought the best thing I could do was hang myself, kill
Right.
myself,
Right.
because it would make everyone's life around me better.
Right.
Either right or wrong, that's where my mindset was. The biggest thing and the best thing you can do there for those individuals is they're no longer experiencing pain. Don't go through as like, oh, they're going to hell because they weren't a Christian, they weren't this, they weren't and you go through the gambit of crap and make everyone feel horrible.
How does that benefit the people who are left? Does that draw people to Christ? If you go, your person's in hell, does that in any way, shape, or form can you possibly conceive draw people to Christ? Please tell me. Tell me.
No, I'm not saying it will.
But
Then why would you say that?
where's the value?
Why would you lie to them?
You're not lying to them. You can omit this information.
So we'll go back biblical, and I'll totally play Demo's advocate.
Demo's advocate.
Demo's advocate.
Woo! We going back 8 years from
We
now.
going back ages to MC World. Demo's advocate. Why would you not just love God, love people with that? Why would you not be love your neighbor as yourself? Do you really want to be told, oh, your brother went to hell? Your brother just died. If I told you, it was like, your brother's going to hell. Like, at his funeral, in front of all your family, your brother's going to hell. He's dying. He's fucked. He's going to burn forever, or he's going to freeze forever because he's away from the light of God.
If my stepdad doesn't change his ways, he will.
But that's...
We're not talking about your stepdad.
We're talking about your brother.
Your brother just passed. If I had shown up to your funeral, and I'd be like, this is great, but you realize your brother's in hell right now, that he's a worthless sack of shit and they never contributed anything to his faith.
It changes your perspective and makes you no longer want to be a part of what's happening.
But you don't
like would you want to listen to anything else I had to say in that regard? Would you want to embrace any kind of message I'm trying to give you?
Would I have just
I'm in a
closed the
different
door?
place, but if I
At the time,
as an average person, I hear what you're saying.
What I'm saying is put yourself in that perspective.
Right.
Like you're smart enough. I know you are to put yourself in that perspective.
Just a little bit. I failed out of college.
Fuck, man. I had a 1.8 what is it? GPA?
GPA.
Yeah, GPA. I never even
Ooh.
went to fucking college.
Are you serious?
I went to
Yes.
college, and you know what? They're still trying to come at me for
Yeah,
money.
motherfucker. Look at where I'm at now.
Accident forgiveness. I mean, college forgiveness.
Yeah, Bo.
I don't
see
care. It just, I mean, we've definitely beat the horse of that one. It's if you're gonna have this mindset of blank, whatever religion, if you're gonna have this mindset of blank, and you expect me to
You.
bring,
Listen, I need you to shut the fuck up and let me talk now, okay? Because what I'm saying is important.
I heard what you had to say, and
I-
it was important.
I know. I just wanted to shut him up this time.
Ah!
I knew that. That's why I was just okay.
To interrupt you.
To interrupt you.
To cut your.
I mean, you know what? That's fine. We're cognizant of it now.
To
But the
cut you
biggest thing
off.
is like at a funeral, the biggest thing is for the populace there, the people that are there.
Okay, let's talk about the proper color to wear at funeral.
No, hold on.
No,
No.
Should I wear white to a funeral?
Yes.
no.
Wear
You
whatever the
should
fuck
wear
you want.
whatever you want. But
well, let's.
That's exactly the point.
I want
I
to.
think people should.
I do
show
want to
up
talk out
comfortably.
for the next couple minutes. I want to talk about how dogs in general. Dogs have this way.
That came on, and I was like, "Is it really time?"
Dogs have this way of building this. I don't know. Food chain in a way of who's the highest, who's the lowest.
Absolutely.
Bo, stop.
So we have Bo, who's easily very much the lowest of the totem. He's like,
Dude.
I'm only like this tall. And because Cabo came over earlier and was starting to sniff him, he goes, I give up. You win. You win. I was like, this is all you, bro.
Well, I mean, that's post long time ago having latched onto Cabo's face and realized this doesn't work, bro.
Yeah, because Cabo just goes like this. Okay, you're in my face. Let me get closer. And no joke, Cabo pushed closer. But this is in the socialization of the food chain of dogs. Like it's very interesting to see this play out with my
Yeah.
dogs and your dogs. It really is. And occasionally you'll have a snapback. Like earlier today we had a snapback. Your dogs were not so happy about food. And it was just it happens.
Yeah.
It's one of the things
Sometimes they get into it, and then as the owner, you have to reinforce certain expectations.
I'm the big bad, try me.
Yes. No. If you want to start shit, you're going to have to start it with me first before you start it with each other.
I'm the alpha. Let's go. But that's intermission 2. We'll catch you on the flip side. Catch you in a minute. Touching all of our cameras. Meow. Cats meowing in the background. You good? Meow.
Meow. Grabbing. I don't know what's been up with my old cat lately.
Your old cat.
My old cat's been grabbing the other one by the nape of the neck, like they're
Hold on.
fucking.
We have rain.
What? No.
Step out there. Tell me if there's raining.
The concrete's wet.
It sounds like it's
No. There's wetness. Sky.
there's wetness falling from the sky. Good thing
Oh.
we did the podcast in garage.
Actually, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Cause me and Celt over here. Oh, it's not gonna rain. It's not gonna rain. And because when I left work at like 2:30, 2-ish, it wasn't gonna rain. And then Mike's over. Oh no, it's gonna rain. And then Celt gets here is like, it's not gonna rain.
It's not gonna rain, bro.
And surprisingly, the outdoors are wet.
It's weeping.
Wet is falling from the sky.
Yeah.
But your cat is grabbing the other cat.
Yeah, no, it like I think it's like some old man shit because he keeps like grabbing her by the nape of the neck.
Get out of my lawn.
Like he's going to like fuck her, but he can't because he's physically incapable. And so I keep like batting him off, like, leave her the fuck alone, weirdo.
I'm trying so hard and
And
getting
she's
nowhere.
like, ah!
All
And
you-
she can't do nothing because she's fixed.
All we hear is meow, 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 meow.
So weirdly enough,
Oh dear.
I don't remember what I was originally going to talk about. However, I did have a topic I did want to bring up.
Let's go.
I'm all ears. Let's go.
I'm all mouth.
So,
So he's going to interrupt you. Spit or swallow.
spit or swallow.
Prefer
That's
to
what I
spit.
heard. Ceramic storage.
What the?
In
is
which
that?
aspect? Like dishware?
No.
Like, what is
ceramic
ceramic?
storage as in data storage. As in
So why would you call it ceramic? Because ceramic
because
is
it's
material.
using ceramics to do storage. Instead of like tape or disc or SSD.
So you're riding onto a ceramic something.
Yes.
So
Okay.
ceramic is becoming a motherboard in a way, or a
No.
memory storage?
It's coming a memory storage.
Like
I sent
an
I sent
SSD
you
drive.
I know you sent me the link. I never looked at it.
What? Okay, so what is SSD written on?
Solid state?
Yeah, so solid state
So
drive.
think
What
of-
is that
think of-
memory written on?
think of solid state drives kind of like RAM.
Yeah, but what is it written on?
It's written on silicon storage.
Silicon. Okay. So instead of silicon, the silicon is being replaced with ceramic. But ceramic is breakable.
So
I know I broke a ceramic plate earlier this week.
Ceramic. If you drop a
Wait,
hammer on ceramic tile, it breaks too.
A technology startup has made startling claims for its innovative ceramic nano layer based storage. Cerobyte asserts it will disrupt the 500 billion storage market by reducing data center storage TCO by 75%.
How does it make it smaller?
So, from what I briefly read about and from what I understand is instead of using traditional storage, i.e., like for long-term storage especially, because tape is long-term storage still to this day in 2024. Tape technology has continued to progress. So if you're long-term storage, because a lot of people don't know, but like SSD storage and disk storage has the potential to have data loss on it.
Right.
However, ceramic storage is supposed to be able to write faster, to write larger. And we're talking about not
Twice the amount.
terabyte. We're not talking about petabyte. We're talking about eventually
A
exobyte.
A nanomemory is what we're talking about. So
What is an exobyte?
Exobyte is the next step past petabyte.
So reading through what you just sent me, the little article, essentially what we're talking about is ceramic memory. So now we're talking about nano memory. We're talking about nanobytes, which is touching on what he was talking about byte wise. But we're talking about something that's recyclable, something that is reusable, something that can. So what's happening at the basic level? Explain to me like I'm 5. It's laser writing the memory down on ceramic.
Yes.
And what this is doing, and fuck you, I read faster than you. This is off-camera topic.
No, you don't.
So essentially,
He listens faster than you.
but the laser writes down everything that needs to be written down memory-wise. And what this does is lays down this specific amount of information that is recyclable, can be reused elsewhere if the ceramic breaks. So it's something that can be used across the board. That
And they've come up with multiple ways. Some of it is ceramic overlaid over like tape. And some of it is like a ceramic cylinder.
it's sustainable over time based
It
off.
is sustainable over time because ceramics don't break down like a lot of our other medias do.
Correct. And this is specifically based off the particle beam that the laser sends.
Well, but it's not just later, like it goes into laser etching as well as particle etching.
Correct. There's two
which
different
has two
etching.
different right
Exactly.
qualities.
We're talking about two different write qualities onto this ceramic that makes it so we break, for example, you break ceramic when you drop a pan, or not a pan, you drop a plate or a bowl and it breaks. You can still use this, it's recyclable into the data because the data was written onto it. Like it's an insane amount of knowledge being information
And it-
thrown onto something.
And it reduces the overall cost because everything we've had that we use for data storage now
Gone
is
cost-wise.
but like cost wise is like ceramics have been around forever and ceramics are cheap to produce,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially in modern
I think the
times.
oldest ceramic we have is Asia. And
Yeah,
before
and
that,
that's
we possibly have South America.
and that's like 2,000, 3,000 years
Two
before AD.
2 to 5, 2 to 5, somewhere in between
Yeah.
there.
And it doesn't deteriorate like all of our other media does.
Well, yeah, because we have ceramics from 2 to 5,000 years old that have been proven to is like, oh, well, it has this blast from, oh, well, they had a giant battle here. If we can store the data on ceramics, that's
I agree.
Especially if they can get to the read write
yeah.
fucking qualities that they're talking about. Because holy shit, bro, like it is impressive. Like we're talking about replacing all storage media with it.
Something
Right.
that is easily attainable, cheaper in cost.
Yep.
Because even when I was reading the article, substantially cheaper in cost.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're talking about is spending the money on the light of the laser and the
You're
particle.
talking about powering the laser more than anything else.
And
producing the ceramics is negligible in comparison.
it's a fraction of the cost. I mean, we're talking about terabytes being spent for
Petabytes,
petabytes,
exobytes. They were talking about exobytes,
Damn.
and we're talking about millions of dollars being spent.
which
You can buy a petabyte. I think it was like
a
for
terabyte is 1,000 gigs.
Right.
A petabyte is 1,000 ter. Which means that an exobyte should be 1,000 petabytes.
and we can.
You know how I feel about pedos?
There's no good pedo.
There is
The
no
best
good
pedo
pedos.
is
They
a
should
dead
all
pedo.
be. Yeah, they're all dead. Kill
The
them.
best pedo is one that's hung
We're
on a
not.
rope.
We're not
which-
talking PEDO. We're talking PETO.
Anyone in prison who kills a pedophile, thank you.
God forbid I ever go to prison. I'm never getting out
Because
I'm gonna kill every.
oh,
fucking
you're gonna kill all the
pedo.
pedos. Okay, I was about to say.
I've said that for years. If I ever go to prison, I'm never getting out. Because if I find out you touched kids, now that I have a kid, game over.
I mean, that's an
I
unspoken
don't even have
rule.
a kid,
That's
and
an
I'm
unspoken.
saying this shit.
I mean,
That's
I
just
said
an
it
unspoken
before.
rule in jail. Like if you've touched a kid and you go to jail, you're
Yeah, I'm
not-
sorry you don't make it out. That's just how that works.
You don't
You're living
have
in a
do
in a
not pass
cardboard
go.
box.
Do not collect $200.
go directly to death.
Someone is getting shanked by some blunt object. That's for sure.
But it's about that time. We've had a long podcast, but it's about that time. We had your favorite segment.
King for an issue.
Yes.
For an issue.
So
Let's talk about.
we've talked about a lot of this off podcast.
Okay.
I want to touch on because we've talked about taxes being fixed in high school, talking about business being built in high school. How do we fix our high school system to prepare them for the outside world?
So are you talking about fixing education?
No, I'm not talking about fixing education. What best can we do outside of what's already in education? I'm talking
Okay,
about
so keeping current education and doing an addendum to education.
with where it's at now, yes. What can we addend to the current
curriculum.
to add to build you for taxes, to build you for business development, to build you across what can we do? Because we've talked about it off, and it was like, okay, well, we could talk about tax knowledge, we could talk about business knowledge, but what can we do now with the current curriculum to build you for success on the outside?
I want to go first.
Okay.
All right.
It's not as Mike would say. It's a very complicated answer.
I mean-
It's a complicated problem with a complex answer.
But this is king for
one.
an issue, not king for a day.
This
See
is an
this issue all the
right.
way through.
So so the issue is
Our curriculum is messed up.
No, it's not even. It's not just the curriculum. It goes back to environmental.
Nope. Fix the curriculum. What can we do to best prepare you in the curriculum now?
To
We-
be
How
a
can your
functional
educators-
adult.
yes.
Well, no. Okay, so then the question should be: how can the educators better prepare individuals for adult living life.
I mean, if that's how you understand the question, then sure, yes, that's essentially what I'm saying.
Okay.
How can we prepare you best for you to be a functional member of society as an adult outside of the curriculum? What can we do in the curriculum
I want to go last.
to build you on this?
Okay. So, for instance, that you do economics. When I was in high school, which was many moons ago,
Year.
um, you do a semester of economics actually, and I think it's more of a microeconomics than there is macroeconomics. Um,
So economics.
I think there needs to be more economics and financial
Economics on what standpoint?
financial education.
Okay. Because we talk economics and we're talking about a multitude of different
Yeah,
things.
I think there needs to be more of a financial education. How to save money, how to spend money, how to budget money, how to uh be smart with what you have, how to use what you have in the best possible way.
So living within your means.
Right.
Okay.
Um, use what you've been given most optimally in the way that it is designed to be used. Um,
So that's step one.
right. Number two,
Economic understanding is one.
right. Two would be stop lying to our students. Stop filling them with your own personal uh political views or agendas.
How's that? I'm curious. How's that fix the current
Allow the students to have their own
opinion
political view
in
and
view?
opinion.
Okay.
Uh, instead of making a debate club or class something that kids can choose to be in, I think it should be part of their curriculum. Learning how to fact check, research, and be able to listen, communicate, and uh, argue their point back in a constructive way without shutting down and like just dropping the subject, where they can get their whole point of view out, where they can actually source where they got their information from as well.
So one being fix the economic understanding,
Hmm.
two being fix the political view, three being
Fixed
don't
communication.
fix communication of understanding.
Yeah, and how to relay that understanding in a way that others can understand as well.
Okay.
So, I my top three things would be, yeah,
If
fix
you have more than three, push more than three if you need to.
so the economic standpoint, financial understandings, um,
And political views.
political views, get rid of those. Stop pushing agendas. Um, and then the communication, learning how to communicate properly with others. Uh, because everybody has different communication techniques and
Okay.
understandings. Um, so the way one person may receive communication may not be the same way that somebody is used to
Giving it.
giving.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier in the episode in the book talk, love languages for
Exactly.
kids,
Learn different languages of how people talk.
right? Same thing. I think honestly, also there needs to be back in the day, you used to have woodworking shop or you had mechanic
Life
shop,
skills. Yeah.
life skills shop. You had you literally had basket weaving 101,
Yeah.
where you learn how to sew clothes, bake, cook in the kitchen. I think that needs to be brought back.
So we're talking
Um,
back to lifestyle skills to
yeah,
build people for okay.
yeah. Uh, how to be self-sufficient in a world that is becoming less and less codependent on each other and being self-sufficient.
So
Like,
so those are your five. Is
yeah,
there anything you
yeah.
would like to add, or are those pretty much your soapbox of the five to fix this issue? Is there anything else you would like to add to
I'm
them?
sure there's more that can be piggybacked
But
onto it, but
immediately those are your five.
those are my top, I would
Okay.
say.
I mean, mine's pretty simple. I had business 101 class. I had economics. I had all the things that I want. And I had this in a school in DC. Like, this was something I had to do,
Mhm.
and all those successfully built me. So I think some schools are doing this, but most aren't. We need economics. We need to know the economy. We need to know business. I need to know how to write contracts. I need to know how to read contracts. So if I have both of those, realistically, I'm set up for success. But we should have a continuation from that. This is my vape, it's fine. Continuation from that, I should understand political views, how people understand, how people view, how people receive.
Right.
All that it is encompassed into sociology. If I understand how people receive, if I have those three and they're not political agenda, they're not pushed towards one way or another, I have economics, I understand business, and I understand sociology. Even as an elective, you have the ability to learn this. If you don't learn this, that's on you. You can't be pissed off when you leave high school for this. You shouldn't be,
Right.
because you have the ability to learn this. Having the ability is the biggest thing. Should we force it? Yes and no, because if we force it, people won't want to learn it. If you have the ability, you have the three. But that's me.
So at the beginning of this topic, I asked for the parameters of this discussion. And you said, well, we're not going to fix education. We're not going to correct education.
Correct.
But I disagree on how you go about this without fixing education as a whole.
Okay.
I think that because it's most important to start this early. So all of these subjects, and I think Celt pegged a lot of these subjects correctly, but rather than doing these in high school, you need to be starting all of these subjects in elementary school at the beginning of their education. At the beginning of your education, much like
Yeah.
you're learning English and all this other shit, you need to be learning at the beginning of your education. You need to be learning about United States laws.
I don't
You need to
disagree.
be learning about, taxes and finances. You need to be learning about
Financial law, US
you
law,
need to be
like,
learning a
yeah.
language early on. A language. I don't care what language, a language early on. You need to be learning all of these things. You need to be learning how to do stuff with your hands because it's not my grandparents' age where they taught their kids how to do stuff by hand, right? So they need to be learning the basics of woodworking. They need to be learning and I'm not talking about like very in depth, but the very, very basics
The
of how
basics,
to
yeah.
use power tools,
Yep.
how to deal with metals, how to fix a simple appliance.
The basic understanding of blue collar work.
And it has to start at an early age.
I would push middle school. Elementary school would be earlier to start and build this knowledge.
Yes,
I would agree on that
and
one. Yes.
it would be a progression. And this would
Yes.
require a restructuring of our current education system. And it will require a restructuring of those expectations for that education
And I
system.
would even push it a step further. It would be your elective starting in elementary school. And you would have mandatory pieces, but you would also have an elective to major in a way to dive more into it.
Yeah.
Like you have, okay, this is your baseline, this is your basic.
And by giving them electives when they're in elementary school, middle school, you are giving them the option of choice early on in life.
And you know what
You are
you're
teaching
building?
them how to choose
What we're
early on in
building
life.
is a successful society because they are having the choice and willingness to learn at an earlier
And
age.
dealing with the repercussions of those choices and those expectations. And that's the other thing is stop insulating our children from the repercussions of their
At their
actions.
actions.
Because what happens is that they graduate from high school and they graduate and there's this expectation that, well, you're an adult now, you should have it figured out. Because I don't know about you gentlemen, but when I came out of high school, I did not know anything about taxes. I knew zero about taxes.
Yep.
I knew zero about business.
See, I differ from that only because where I went.
And I came out and I was like, well, I didn't know about blue collar work and what blue collar work was worth in
Yep.
general. Because if I had, I probably would
Would
have
have changed
been
my occupation.
yes. Yes. Instead, I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do with myself. So I eventually, when I was 21 is when I joined the army.
Okay.
Okay. That's 3 years.
Yeah, you're talking about you graduate 18, 19, depending on what's
18
going on.
years old. I graduated. My parents kicked me out of the house. I went to live with my dad. And I had no idea how to fucking progress and be ambitious about life, because how do you have ambition when you have no like concept of what a direction?
Exactly. You don't know where you're supposed to go.
And so when we're getting into the high school years, realistically, the last 2 to 3 years of high school should all be you touching on different trades. Like realistically, I didn't need to know calculus in high school. I didn't need to know physics in high
Exactly.
school. There is so much wasted fucking time in high school.
Yep.
The amount of wasted fucking time
How many of
in
us
high
do you
school.
expect to be engineers, architect? Like realistically, how many do you expect us to use math all the fucking time?
What fucking man, I don't even use the Pythagorean fucking theorem.
I don't even use foil.
What are you talking about? I pull the only thing I use is PEMDAS occasionally.
I don't even know what the
And
hell
that's-
that is.
Please excuse my dead Aunt Sally.
Nope, still don't know what that is. Foil. I don't use it.
I don't know.
I don't use any of this fucking shit. So realistically, all early schooling should be doing is getting you close to preparation. And if you
Building.
want to go further, deeper into the
Yes.
education
Okay.
and gain more knowledge, then that's what college is for.
Agreed. Hands down.
You know what I use foil for?
I don't even know
Cooking.
what foil stands for.
I don't fucking like the material.
First, outer, inner, last. It's
Parentheses.
a
That's
math.
PEMDAS.
Huh?
Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, divide, addition, subtraction. I mean, that's PEMDAS. Apparently, it's foil. I didn't know that. I never heard it foil.
I've never heard it. Old people shit.
Old people
Yeah.
shit.
You know what foil is?
But,
It's
hey.
something you wrap your potatoes in when you put them in the oven.
Foil is what you wrap your potatoes
So
in.
guys, this has been name pending.
This is name pending.
I have once again been Mike Culberson.
And I am not Celt.
I mean, I am keeper.
He's apparently not Celt.
You're not Celt.
Okay. Anyways, that's not Celt.
Throw a comment below. I will respond at some point.
He will respond. I need you to fuck that like button.
And tickle that subscribe.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But that's name pending.
That's name pending.
For this week.